Last night's search and rescue at a popular state park worrying the city. New updates and confirmations from organizers at Rock Cut. Plus, cleaning up our rivers for the wildlife. How those in the community helped clear the Pecatonica River. And promoting mental health awareness, market style. How one local woman wants to end the stigma.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, happy Sunday. I'm Rhian Weil. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tonight, we bring you an update on the search and rescue that took place at Rock Cut State Park just yesterday. Around 7 p.m. last night, Rock Cut posted to Facebook that there was an ongoing search and rescue. Around 10 o'clock, they gave an update saying they plan to reopen today with some exclusions in the campground and no boat traffic permitted on Pierce Lake. But this afternoon, around 12:30, the park announced its reopening with normal hours with permitted access to Pierce Lake and the entire campground. We'll keep you updated as new information comes. And today marked the 21st annual Pecatonica United Sportsmen Youth Foundation River Cleanup. The event always takes place the last Sunday of July. The cleanup is designed to better the river and protect the wildlife. Volunteers were out all day in boats, cleaning up and competing against each other to collect the most garbage. All volunteers were provided a free picnic afterwards. Organizers say the event has grown popular over time, with more volunteers joining each time. They shared the impact they've had and the importance of younger volunteers joining the group.
We're getting older, right? And we've got some guys over there, they're like in their 70s. We can't do this forever, so we got to teach the kids. It's their responsibility to help their community and be leaders and bring in new kids to be leaders. We used to do a mile of river and we get a semi-load of garbage. Now we got to do 50 miles to get a semi-load. So we've made a huge impact, just our local group.
And Walsh says by 2025, the group would like to implement strainers on the sewer drains in the city so that garbage from the streets doesn't drain into the river. And brunch on the dock took place this morning overlooking the Rock River. Prairie Street Brewing Company provided a brunch buffet, there was a Bloody Mary bar, and there was also live music. Attendees could win prizes from a 50-50 raffle along with other drawings and prize packages. The event was hosted by Family Counseling Services, an organization that's dedicated to providing counseling to local children and adults. Those at the services say the weather did hold out this morning, and these fundraisers are crucial for the organization.
Especially like for group counseling, which a lot of insurance doesn't cover, and for people who don't have insurance and so forth. So it's really important, and we value so much the folks who sponsor this event and who attend and care enough about providing mental health care for people in our community who might not have access to it.
And those at Family Counseling Services remind anyone who may be nervous about joining that the first step is always the hardest, but they are available via phone as well. And the 2024 Love Your Mental took place in Rockford this afternoon. Proceeds from the event went to the Tommy Corral Memorial Foundation, a local nonprofit that enhances mental health of individuals, their families, and the community through education and support. The event promoted ending the stigma against mental health in the Rockford region and showing the community the various mental health resources that are available. Organizers say their goal for attendees was to realize the alternative mental health therapies that we have and connect with local artists and businesses in the area that support mental health awareness as well.
A lot of people feel like they're alone, and they're not alone. A lot of people are feeling anxious, anxiety, with things going on with the news, whether it's the floods, the stabbing, the whatever happened in Rock Cut, right? We all need to talk about it, but we're not, and it needs to be addressed.
And today's event held over 70 vendors in hopes that those who attended were open to starting the conversation of mental health awareness. And a special visitor cruised through Rockford this afternoon. Motorcyclists rode through the Rockford area supporting YouTuber Adam Sandoval's Great American Convoy, which is a cross-country motorcycle fundraiser ride for Wounded Warrior Project. The Great American Convoy is in partnership with Harley-Davidson and includes visits to 34 Harley-Davidson dealerships across America. Sandoval's goal is to receive $200,000 in donations over his 34-day journey. He says his ultimate objective is to raise awareness for the Wounded Warrior veterans, especially those suffering from PTSD. He shared the inspiration behind his travels today.
I think it's important to have veteran-related charities everywhere in America. I think that this is something that we need to do to take care of our own veterans here at home. A lot of these veterans spent years fighting for our country overseas, fighting battles there, and they come home and they're fighting battles of their own right here on our own soil. And I think it takes a group of our community to come together to help raise the money that they need to help fight those battles.
Sandoval says his journey can best be described like Forrest Gump's. He stops at a place and people can join and leave him as they please. We wish him well on his continued journey. And looking ahead, we're well into this year's fair season and we've got some even more coming up. Ogle County starts this Wednesday at the fairgrounds in Oregon and will go through August 4th. One of the larger fairs in the state, Boone County, begins August 6th at their fairgrounds and will end on August 11th. And then to close everything out, Winnebago County Fair begins August 14th in Pecatonica and will run through the 18th. And also happening this Wednesday, William Jones is expected to be sentenced. Jones is the man accused of first-degree murder at Pinnins in 2023. He originally pled guilty and then changed his plea to not guilty. Jones is expected to be sentenced for the shooting of 63-year-old Peggy Anderson in the chest during a robbery. The race for the White House continues just 1 week after Biden's announcement to drop out. How the race has changed over the past few days is next.
Our temperatures so far have made their way into the low 80s, very similar to yesterday. Different from yesterday is the scattered showers and the storms that we've been dealing with. I'll let you know when we're continuing to expect more of those rounds of storms and when some could even bring some severe weather coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Rianne Weil, Drew Collins, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Just 100 days until Election Day, and the race has essentially been reset. A new poll finds Vice President Kamala Harris is seeing a bounce in her favorability rating, while Republican nominee Donald Trump's favorability has slightly dropped. ABC Perry's Russum has the latest.
The race for the White House continues to take shape after President Biden dropped out 1 week ago. Vice President Kamala Harris picking up another endorsement today, this time former Vice President Al Gore. The latest ABC News Ipsos poll released today shows Harris with a boost in favorability.
Kamala Harris has turned her numbers around substantially. Her favorability rating up 8 points in the space of a week. She is now viewed more favorably than unfavorably, which is rare these days. This is clearly an early honeymoon period, but it's also clear that the presidential race has essentially reset at this stage.
Trump's favorability reaching a high of 40% in the days following the Republican convention and the assassination attempt. It's now fallen back to 36%, according to the same poll. Trump in Minnesota last night, campaigning with his running mate Senator J.D. Vance.
So now we have a new candidate to defeat the most incompetent, unpopular, and far-left vice president in American history.
Vance stopping by a diner this morning, addressing his past criticisms of Trump.
He did a better job of that than anybody that I've ever seen as president in my lifetime. So I changed my mind because he did a good job, and that's what you do when people do a good job and you're wrong.
Speculation continues over who will be Harris's running mate. Among the names being mentioned are Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who had this to say about Trump visiting his state.
He's here today in the state of hockey to complete his trifecta. He lost in 16, he lost in 20, he loses in 24.
Another possible VP choice is Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who declined to answer ABC's Martha Raddatz this morning when asked if he submitted any vetting paperwork required for potential contenders. He did say he spoke with Harris last week.
I had a great conversation with her, and I pledged to her that no matter what the outcome of this process, that I'd be working hard for her and making sure that she wins in November.
Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Well, we had a pretty cloudy weekend these past few days. Meteorologist Jordan Wolf is in next to let us know when we can expect rain for the week ahead.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Well, it's been a very showery day for some across the state line, although many have continued to remain dry for at least most of that time. We take a live look with our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera overlooking the Poplar Grove Airport, brought to us by the Poplar Grove Airport, where we actually see a little bit of an updraft. Actually, they're off in the distance. This is looking just to the north and to the northeast of the Poplar Grove Airport, where we're actually seeing that little bit of an updraft that we can tell. And that's with this area of storms right around northern Boone County now moving into southern Wisconsin. In addition to that, we're also seeing a few of these other spotty showers continuing across portions of the state line. Now, we have some drier air moving in from the south and from the west. Eventually, that will bring an end to a lot of these showers. But in the shorter term, we do have at least a low-end threat for a few cold air funnels. Not likely that they would be reaching the ground, but nonetheless, we could at least see a few of those funnels reaching down from some of the bases of these clouds. They are unlikely to reach the ground, and even if they do not last very long if they were to do so. But ahead of this, with a few of these showers, our temperatures are still in the low 80s. We did make it up to 83 in Rockford briefly, but currently sitting at 80 degrees, 80 in Rochelle, 81 DeKalb, 79 in Janesville. Meanwhile, our dew points have reached into the 70s, which is a lot of that moisture that we've seen helping to produce some of these showers that we have, and a few of those with some pretty decent downpours. Our weather watcher Terry out in Genoa has 73 degrees for his dew point, 80 degrees the temperature, and winds out of the south around 14 miles per hour, along with just over 1/4 of an inch of rain. As we head through the night tonight, we are going to continue to maintain at least a few chances for some of these showers and storms for a few more hours, but generally speaking, that drier trend, along with the loss of daytime heating, will bring some of those showers to an end. We will have a few dry hours during the early overnight, but then we have a return to some of these scattered showers and a few storms as we head into the early hours of tomorrow morning. This is reflected pretty well with our futurecast here. That drier air starting to work its way in from the south and west, bringing a gradual end to these showers with that drier air moving in. We have a few hours of a break where we don't have any rain moving through, but then we have light rain and a few storms that may be possible toward the early hours of tomorrow morning. Heading beyond that, things become a bit more complicated as we have some computer models that will bring a lot more instability back in, helping to fuel our next chances for storms during the afternoon, and some that leave us completely capped during the early part of the afternoon and even going into the evening. But nonetheless, we'll at least see some degree of that instability trying to build back in as we head into the second half of our Monday. And then again, as we get into Tuesday, bringing us at least a couple of chances for some severe weather. Now, the certainty on this severe threat is still quite a bit on the lower side, and because of that, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a pretty broad outlook that does include a level 1 out of 5 risk for the entire state line for Monday, and then similar level 1 out of 5 risk, but only portions of the state line as we head into Tuesday. So with all of this severe weather, we may see multiple rounds as we head through Monday and going into Thursday even. So this is a couple of notes that I have. Any capping that I mentioned earlier that would put a lid on the atmosphere would likely prevent some of that additional thunderstorm activity. That may be a player as we head into the afternoon, specifically as we get into Tuesday. Any outflows from any previous rounds of storms may play a huge role in exactly where those additional storms end up setting up. Each round, therefore, will impact the placement of the next. And if storms end up lacking any of those afternoons, Monday through Thursday, we would likely see a return to very hot and humid weather, bringing heat index values close to 90s and even close to triple digits. So we're going back to Futurecast now. This is how things clear out, allowing some instability to build back up for Monday. But the wave actually produces a much more of that convective activity in those thunderstorms to our south and to our southeast. Nonetheless, that threat still exists here locally as we head into tomorrow evening, and we may see a few of those gusty storms continuing even into the late evening hours. Similar to that, we have most of the afternoon that remains capped as we head into Tuesday, but then we may see some storms developing out to our west that eventually would start to flow in, bringing us those next chances for storms. So overnight tonight, we're down to 69 degrees underneath mostly cloudy skies and a few storms overnight, but we do return back to the low 80s again tomorrow. Scattered storms early, and then that chance for some storms because of all those uncertainties as we head later on into the evening tomorrow. A similar uncertainty threat exists for the next few days going forward. I have our high temperatures in the upper 80s, but if we end up staying capped, those temperatures could warm a little bit more, getting into the low 90s each of those days, especially Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday, with those chances for storms continuing throughout that time as well. The good news is we start to clear out and dry out as we head into the weekend, with temperatures returning back into the mid-50s.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Well, Drew's in next with sports. He'll tell us about the in-game trade for the Cubs and how the Packers defense speaks on team improvements.
Now sports with Drew Collins.
The Chicago Cubs had a great day today. They grabbed a series win over the Royals and made an in-game trade to shake up the starting lineup and add some much-needed young talent. The Kansas City Royals hosting the Cubs for some Sunday baseball. The Royals would strike early as Hunter Renfroe delivers the RBI single to bring in 2. Top of the third, and the Cubs need to get the bats going. Nico Horner would tie it up with this roller out to left field, and now the Cubs are heating up. Pete Crow Armstrong would take the lead here, and the Cubs wouldn't look back. And we have to mention the in-game trade. Third baseman Christopher Morel was traded during the game and had to be taken out just after one at-bat to find out that he was traded to the Rays. Cubs win 7-3. And let's take a closer look at who the Cubs got in return. Isaac Paredes. He was actually signed by the Cubs in 2017, but never played for the team as he was traded to the Tigers. He's primarily at third base, but can switch to second and first base. He's only 25 years old and is batting .245 alongside 16 home runs and 55 RBIs in the season. He will immediately step in at third base as the starter. The Cubs also sent the Rays two prospect pitchers in Ty Johnson and Hunter Biggie. Day 5 of the training camp for the Packers, and today it was all about the defense. Matt LaFleur spoke about the difference in the scheme with the new defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, and how the pass rush has already seemed to have made many improvements. Packers veteran and Pro Bowler Kenny Clark spoke on behalf of the defensive line.
And just our style of play and how we've been playing, and what we all been preaching as a team, and it's been good so far. This definitely been the most turnovers I've seen. Since I've been here this early in camp. So hopefully we can just keep that going, keep playing with that intensity.
The White Sox hosted Seattle, and the Sox extended their losing streak to 14 games. The notable news is that we may have saw Garrett Crochet's last game in a White Sox uniform, but for now we're not certain. But over the next 48 hours, it's very possible we hear some breaking news. And the Rivets held First Responder Night as they hosted the Kenosha Kingfish. The Kingfish delivered the Rivets' second loss in a row, which I feel like is the first time I've had to say that all year long for the Rivets. They've been so good, but today wasn't their best showing. They host Kenosha again tomorrow at 1:30. And that's sports. We'll be right back.
Scattered showers and a few storms continue here into the later part of our evening on the First Warn Interactive Radar from Rockford Glass and More. A couple of those storms may be capable of producing some cold air funnel clouds. It would be unlikely to reach the ground if they do form, but nonetheless, at least that threat exists for a couple more hours. Rain chances coming to a gradual end as drier air moves in overnight, but we return to a potential severe threat both Monday and Tuesday. Lots of uncertainty, so stay tuned to the forecast going forward.
That's our show. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.